Fozzie, LV Cup action here against Bath this weekend. Tough old game, but your thoughts ahead of it all?
Yeah, you know, Bath always a tough fixture, developing into a little of a southwest derby now. They're a grudge match. You know, very similar kind of club, passionate supporters. You know, fantastic history and following. It's going to be tough. It's Cup Rugby now. I think potentially they're probably out of it, but you know, like I say, always a very passionate side, tough to beat, and just like us, you know, a lot of strength in depth. So regardless of the sides that take the field on the weekend, it's always going to be a bit of a bloodbath.
We come into it on the back of a really good result at Wasps, and I suppose, like we were saying to Stino a minute ago, it shows how far the club have come, that we're disappointed not to get a bonus point win at a former Heineken Cup champion. Yeah,
exactly. You know, that is a huge testament to how far the club's come as a whole, how driven the boys are, and how driven the management are in order to succeed, you know, on all fronts. Chap earlier reminded me that we're apart from maybe Sarries on the outside chance, we're the only side who still potentially can do a treble domestic cup, league and a European one. So I did sort of like laugh slightly at him earlier, but you know, the sky's the limit. You look how far we've come in 2 years, and you know, who said we can't go on exponentially from here?
For you, there you got a bit of game time last weekend, and we're seeing the strength of the squad now that Rob can rotate the squad around, and whoever comes in is doing the job in the jersey.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think look, any successful sides now is crucial. You've got to have 45 guys fit, so they can pick at will. So what that means is when it comes to the big crunch games in the Premiership, playoff potentially, and you know the latter stages of Europe and the Cup, you know they can start to really tailor sides. You know, horses for courses. It means that they want some size, they can pick bigger guys, they want some more pace. They want, you know, there's so many variables and permutations within the side now. You can do exactly what you want.
Taking it forward though, we want to get some momentum out of this game to take into what is going to be a crucial block of Premiership games. So there's a lot resting on, regardless of results over the weekend, on this weekend's game in terms of momentum. Yeah,
always. You know, you're only as good as your last game, and we pride ourselves on being, you know, preparing individually for every game. You know, we're not really resting guys now, like you said earlier. It's more about rotation, freshening guys up as we get towards the latter part of the season. You know, it's one of those things. Winning is a habit. You know, we would like to continue winning. We will do everything we can to continue winning, and it's a big home game. It's on TV. It gives a chance for the guys on the pitch to showcase themselves. You know, I think a lot of guys are quite disappointed they didn't get, you know, international recognition. Only TJ getting the Saxons. You know, look at the guys who are playing week in, week out, in the likes of Luke Arscott, Hayden Thomas, James Hanks. You know, these are young English guys who've got a lot of Premiership games under their belts, but aren't even being considered.
Yeah, and obviously taking it into the future, and that you obviously want to push the club forward, and if we can get further in competitions like the LV, the Amlin, etc., it can only be good for the club long term.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think everyone's dream, if you ask them at the club now, if we play Heineken Cup rugby, you know, high-class Heineken games in front of 50, 60,000 at the hotbeds of rugby around Europe, are the dream for, you know, all guys, all rugby players. You know, 9 times out of 10 they're probably better than international rugby to watch, to play in. The tempo's harder and faster. The fans are so passionate. You know, everyone wants that dream trip, you know, away to Stade or away to Perpignan, you know, all these things. You know, you want to go and play at Thomond Park, something like that. That's where everyone wants to go, take this club to the future, to the heights of Europe, and be able to maybe one day host 20, 30,000 here and sell it out, and you know, get all the Irish over and have a big party.
I know Stade's still a month or so or two away, but deep down you players must have a little thought in the back of your mind about that game, and that.
It's more excitement, I think. Guys are just chomping at the bit. You know, let's go and test ourselves against some of the best guys in the world. You know, they've got a who's who of internationals littered, you know, all over the southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, and guys want to go one-on-one with them, see how good you really are, because I don't think anyone really understands how good this club is now, and how, you know, we've shown already this season, last year, on our day we can beat anybody. So, you know, let's go to France, and why not do Stade?
Do you find as players you're still pinching yourself that you're hitting such heights so early?
I don't know. I think, you know, some of us are lucky enough to have played in the Heineken Cup and stuff like that before, and it, you know, they recognise the talent and the potential that's here, and that's why it's so exciting. Yeah, for some of the young guys coming through, it's just a bit of a blur, and you know, they don't really know what's happening. I mean, it was the same for me when I was 21, 22, but as you get a little bit older, you start to understand and look about, and you see firstly the individual skill and the drive and the determination of the players, coupled with, you know, the physical capabilities that so many of them have now at so young, and the potential is limitless. You know, that coupled with the infrastructure we've got here, the financial backing means that, you know, we can pretty much do exactly what we want now. It is totally in the hands of the players. If we want it, we'll go and get it, and you know, we'll take everything.
Bath were known as the Cup Kings of the sort of 80s and 90s, and that, I think back in that time we were down in Division 4, so the strides that have been made during that time, but now we're punching on a level playing field with them.
Exactly. You know, if you went down to Bath today and asked them, you know, what do you think about Exeter Chiefs, you know, 2 years ago they would have said, oh sweet, yeah, you know, put out a second team would be a 50-pointer. You know, they know that to have a realistic chance of winning, they'll have to come with everything they've got and give it everything. You know, they've it's one side we've struggled against, you know, a little bit in the past, but you know, on our day we've beaten Leicester, you know, we've beaten the Sarries, we've beaten the Saints. You know, why not another scalp like Bath? It's Cup rugby, anything goes, and you know, the winner takes all.
Brilliant.